Yeah, this
Man,
banner is disgusting.
Woo.
I can't believe we are here. How are we here? This is so early.
I don't mind the Morgans, but I am honestly disappointed that we got more 3 houses, only because it has been done to death at this point. But
It's-
biases aside, this is a really good banner, and it's nice
I'm
to
not
see
as tired
the
of 3
color of
houses as some
armored beasts,
people
if
are.
nothing
And
else.
I feel like these are the 2 alts that needed to get out at some point.
They needed to, but
Did
I
you
still felt it was
see
too
mine?
early.
Rip
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
skills low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did talk about the thread skills.
Well, of course.
I think this is way better. Of course, it doesn't work out on as many heroes and as guaranteed, but it's huge range.
Literally twice the range.
Yeah.
And you're basically guaranteed to have it. So there's that going for it. I guess the one thing is that you can't really control it because you literally are just almost giving yourself free buffs and free penalties. So if for some reason you don't want to be buffed, good luck with that.
Yeah. But the new weapons on the Morgans just do like everything.
There are
Oh, yeah,
45
those weapons are
3H
terrifying.
heroes with alts includes.
I'll be honest. Let me ask you guys. Do you guys think this is like going back to like year 1 where Awakening of Fates got spammed to the heck? But I don't think 3 houses has been to that degree yet. I think it's getting close.
I don't think it's to the Fates Awakening degree. People might like there have not been that many devoted Fates banners. I mean, perhaps seasonal banners specifically.
Right.
I
They've
did
just
follow
been getting a
Dimitri
lot
and
of new
Edelgard,
heroes
it was
banners.
going to happen as.
Look, I believe Edelgard and Dimitri were going to eventually happen either as well, but I'm just like, again, I'm legitimately surprised they pushed these 2 out because I thought a year down the line this would have been absolutely exciting. Like this, there is a such thing as like getting burnt out on, you know, certain games, franchises getting too many heroes in a short amount of time. In the past 12 months, if you guys count it, it really feels like there have been like 23 houses heroes. That's how it feels. I'm pretty sure it's over 10 easily, but.
It's at least 15 because of Choose Your Legends, which
Thanks
is
for
our
reading my
Yep.
message. And picking on my
the
superior
2 new
music
heroes
choice.
banners in this.
Also am
Close to
disappointed
Arknights.
by no Gunter or Scarlet.
Felix, Hilda.
It would have been nice to have Fallen Gunter. I know one person who was really looking forward to it. I thought
Yeah, I thought it would happen.
Fallen Gunter would be our free hero, to be honest, or something like that.
I did too, but I also saw a couple people bring up Orson, and being a Sacred Stones fan, of course, I was hoping so, but wasn't really expecting it.
I get it, but it's gonna mean so little to so many people. Here's the thing, I'm well aware, but let's not pretend Sacred Stones sold millions of copies, because it didn't. Like it's, you put things in perspective, the amount of people who are going to be able to identify Orson versus another character from a newer game. That's why I'm like surprised they pick Orson instead of like Gunter. Like Gunter, people can understand. Like it's like Fates was pretty well played, wasn't it? So it's fine either way. I'm just surprised by the choice. It feels like again, like how we got Sayla for Mur's sake, just like a more obscure character that didn't really matter to most.
I mean, Orson is literally one of the first characters you play with, so I mean, at least for people who played the game remotely, they'll recognize him.
No. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying there weren't that many people who played the game, and relative say something.
Could be worse. They could choose a game that wasn't localized.
Yeah,
And a lot of people know Orson, by the way, surprisingly, at least from what I've seen.
Okay, I was referencing how many sales Fates versus Sacred Stones, but all right.
Oh yeah, no, Fates is obviously going to have well more.
Yeah, that's
But-
why I'm surprised, because like I thought
Fates
Gunter
also has 3 versions.
Fates
Right.
also is part of the Fire Emblem Renaissance, whereas
Yep.
Sacred Stones is
I'm
closing.
not upset
Not
that
quite
it's 3
where it
houses
fell off,
characters,
but
and I'm
almost.
just upset that it's another Lance Dimitri and armored Edelgard.
Armored Edelgard. Ugh, I think
You think that couldn't be armored?
she has to be armored. But the thing is, they made her very interesting by making her armored. Like honestly, armored beast heroes. I can't even believe it. Let's look it up. Knigas release date. How long ago was that?
2018, Not 2018, 2019, and I believe in May. No, June. I want to say
No,
June.
Knigas released before I started playing.
Wait, did he?
Yes.
Hold on.
I'm just gonna Google it.
It was either March or April.
Huh. April.
Release date 2019, April 10th. So basically just over 2 years. No, 2019, 2020, 2020. Wait,
Huh.
What the
thought they
heck?
were-
It's
I thought
been
the
this
second Tellius
long.
banner- Yeah, I thought the second Tellius banner was later in the book.
I just pray
Nope.
that one day we get an
The
Echoes
two
of a
Tellius
mythic
banners
hero.
for book 3
Also, I think
were
the
very
Morgans
close
could
together.
spin a duo hero.
Yeah, I thought they were a little further apart. My bad.
Mhm.
But oh yeah, right. It was right before Fallen Banner.
Also,
Um,
I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a dual hero because they could have just made male Morgan, female Morgan, bundled them together and made a dual hero.
I guess they really just didn't want to do another main pool duo hero after Ephraim.
Yeah, is this still just Ephraim as the only main pool dual hero?
Yep. Which isn't
Wow.
even main pool. He's a only non-seasonal duo.
Sorry, non-seasonal. Yeah, you can't pull in the main pool. That's right.
Yeah. Literally stuck in purgatory until they decide to bring him out of the dead.
Which they do for like Hero Fest and one.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess that's fate being saved because putting more main pool duo heroes is just going to mean that they show up less.
Yeah. All right, let's go over the heroes. But this is I still can't believe it's people seem really conflicted because there seems to be some 3 houses burn out there and people, not everybody like are big fans of Morgans. I get it, but I'm genuinely excited about this.
Oh, I'm
Also, the
excited.
art for Edelgard and Dimitri especially are on another level. It's insane.
Oh yeah. I always love Fallen art, and those two especially have amazing art.
Yeah.
Female
mhm.
Morgans is pretty good, and then male Morgans is okay.
SMH, she is just fat and slow.
Wow. She's gonna be slow. She's gonna be heavily min-max, but for good reason. Anyways,
Already
we'll get to
looking
it.
at, like 43 defense. I'll just put that out there. She has around 43 defense.
43 defense base.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. She's gonna be
43 or 44, one of the two.
she's gonna be like a supercharged New Year Keaton. What I expect.
She's an armor, so she's gonna be like a supercharged Knagus.
Well, that's a bad comparison because there's only Knigas by himself. But yeah,
Well, at least they're both colorless beast armors.
yeah, I get it. Yeah. But of course she's gonna move. Like do you guys realize she could do anything? Like she could literally do whatever she wants.
Gonna be the next
Dimitri
Spectre in
looks
some
like
ways.
Husk just holding
Yeah.
a redesigned
He
Crave
does. My first impression.
Yeah, that's actually that's right. I should be able to recognize that. All
I
right,
literally just said he had a bootleg cream hill.
yeah, more like a bootleg criminal. That's right. It looks so it looks so familiar. Was the thing that to be, but yeah, we'll talk about it. Anyways, Vengeful Lance, attack +3 if units not adjacent to an ally grants attack speed +6, which just reminded me immediately about like Fallen Julia, which is be alone, get extra stats. But instead of getting an auto double, if unit's attack is over foe's defense during combat, unit can make a follow-up attack, deals damage equal 50% of unit's attack minus foe's defense. I think that's so cool. I'm surprised they
That
didn't do
is
that earlier.
that's basically the same as Astro Blade,
Right,
but with a condition attached to it.
right. But I'm surprised they didn't do that earlier because it's just like for me, I'm kind of burnt out on not follow up on everything. For example,
I mean, it's really, really, really good. But it is nice to see somebody try to change how no follow-up is approached.
yep. And it does have some advantages. For example, if you cause a draw in terms of speed, because he doesn't have an auto double, if you cause a draw, he now just hits you. Well, actually, foe cannot counterattack, but you know what I mean. If you cause a draw, he just hits you, and he gets this extra chunk of damage on it because of
Yeah.
Vengeful Lance. Or if you have Wary, then he just gets that extra chunk of damage. But you can see like the benefits of having this instead of not follow. Of course, it doesn't work defensively, but like
Of course.
Fallen Heroes are supposed to be offensive anyways.
By nature.
By
And then
nature.
you realize we have enough Edelgards for Armored Emblem Low.
Oh my, that's
Yep.
right.
We don't.
Armored
We have 3
Edelgard
armored-
emblem. That's stupid.
Wait, no we don't. There's 3 armored
Wait.
Edelgard and 1 infantry.
Yeah, you're right. Brave, legendary, and this one. But we but we at least do have Edelgard emblem now.
Oh yeah, we do have Edelgard emblem at the very least. Oh. Shut up.
So
Yeah, we're not gonna talk
yeah,
about
that's the other thing. Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, I thought Legion was keeping Flame Emperor out of this on purpose. Anyways, there's also
Flame Emperor spoilers low.
yes. I'm sure everyone knows now. Anyways, Glimmer, attack speed level 4, but those stuff everyone already knows. More interesting, Murderous Lion. Canto. It's like, do you guys remember when they first put LOL in the game? And then all of a sudden they're just like, well, let's just start putting that on everything.
Yep.
This kind of feels like that with Canto now.
Yep.
Ow. I'm okay.
But this is like
Okay.
a special Canto. Canto with 1 extra movement, of course, on an infantry, which is crazy. So the most insane thing is because this works on an infantry, that 1 extra movement is really big. Because infantry, it's not like infantry moves particularly bad, but having 1 extra movement on retreat or moving forward as well is so like that's so useful.
Oh yeah. You're probably at least gonna get 2, if not 3, off Murderous Line, depending on if you're adjacent to your opponent or not.
Yep.
If you have Odd Tempest, more power to you.
Yep. By the way, I cracked up when I saw Odd Tempest again. I was just like, really? He's gonna get it again?
Hey,
In the same outfit at that.
Yeah.
at least he has a different A slot.
But the more important thing is, I couldn't believe this. Speed defense -3, nice. Just like Canto. But the additional part, foe cannot counterattack. I couldn't believe that.
It's just, if you're not adjacent to an ally, the foe can't counter.
Yeah, I know, but it's still really, really ridiculous.
Like, really?
Like, did he really need that? He already had so much attack, so much speed, and even bonus damage on top of that. And the retreat function, now he doesn't even have to worry about his foe counterattacking. Because, by the way, most heroes of Null Disrupt in this game, I think bikes now have a lot of Null Disrupt, for example. But outside of bikes, most of them are like on and I guess Winter Altina. Winter Altina and Bike are the physical heroes that I see with Null Disrupt the most. But most other ones are all mages, all like really soft units that get one-shotted.
Or not soft. They're not necessarily soft.
Not
the majority
necessarily
of the time,
soft.
but Not close.
Physically squishy.
Physically squishy, there you go.
Leon's not squishy physically, for example. It's just the fact that they're not made for countering at melee range, which is
Sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fine, but I'm just saying,
Plus
very
taking
few
a
heroes
page
deal
out of
well with
English
it.
book with Lewin's counterattack negating effect lol.
Yeah, I just like that reminded me of Lewin, except it's guaranteed. Lewin means you have to outspeed your opponent by 5, but honestly, she wouldn't struggle. Ingrid wouldn't struggle with outspeeding her
Not
opponent by
much.
5.
Not really. As long as you're doubling, you're getting it. Whereas Dimitri, as long as you're not adjacent, you're getting it. Arguably the easiest fire sweep condition we've had so far, where the only advantage is that Dimitri is only an infantry half the time, and is still melee locked. Those are the only real balances, quote unquote.
Infantry half the time in terms of movement. That's funny. Would you guys remove Odd Tempest? No, I wouldn't, because of just cancel reasons.
Scoring wise, yes, otherwise, no.
All right. Somebody said he better say kill every last one of them. Yeah, please.
Somewhat.
I
Even if it's-
don't have the biggest of faith. Ferdinand, for example, never says the famous line in Fae.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Sad. I'll be sad.
Has scary looking but has more useful in the player hands than the AI.
Yep.
Canto will push him back towards potentially next to his allies.
Yep. That's the thing. AI Canto's pretty crummy, but yeah. Fine,
Now
I
Morgan
think.
Art reminds me of the guys who start working out for the first time and want to flaunt off their newbie gains to everyone by wearing smaller / tighter clothing.
Yeah.
Also, Gregor Win is.
Can we just like recognize that Morgan's probably like 5'2", 5'3"? He's not very big, but then that clothing is super tight on him. I couldn't even recognize him when I first saw him, chat. Like when I first saw this, do you know what I saw? He kind of reminded me of Kirito from Sword Art Online.
I can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously. If we put the Black Swordsman right over him, and I don't mean the Black Knight, yeah, I literally first saw Kirito. I didn't want to say that while I was reacting to it because it was just like, it's obviously not Kirito. But like, that's Kirito. Who drew him?
Oh, you know what? It's an edgy Phoenix Master 1. That's what it is.
Oh, more edgy PM1s. Let's go.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you guys can see it, right?
This is the default male sorcerer outfit in Awakening. Also, this
Yes,
Morgan
and
is from the
yes.
future past
All
DLC.
Fallen Altar canon in some way.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, but the rest of this,
The,
huh?
yeah, the weapons were completely made up for Dimitri and the Morgans, but
I mean,
everything else is accurate as far as appearance and class.
yeah.
All right, but Tome of Despair is absolutely absurd. I cracked up when I started reading this because I got the idea immediately. He basically power crept himself. basically.
Somewhat. He's not gonna have
Sort
speed.
of, but not quite.
He doesn't have quite the stats. I get it. But the triple effect of focus out, make a follow attack makes a guaranteed follow attack. Special cooldown charge -1 is pretty ridiculous.
He doesn't power creep himself, but he offers dramatic competition for Fallen Julia. Is what I'm seeing.
Wait, really? You don't see him power cream himself? Because he doesn't need the
No.
speed aspect anymore.
I
Well,
mean,
he might not
no,
need the speed aspect, but he's not inflating penalties.
No, and again, the speed aspect still helps against like null follow-up, auto follow-up, and things like that.
The thing with that is, I expect him to have way more BST than base Morgan.
that
So
much is for sure.
overall, end up way better in basically
But
every
he's still gonna
situation.
5-star locked, which is a significant problem.
No,
And
no,
the
I get
yeah,
that.
That dramatic thanks to Dragonflower Cap. As dramatic.
Yes. But still, it's a pretty it's pretty sizable because attack res -6 is already pretty big. Now, I get it from Neil Morgan's side. He could potentially get what attack res +5 and then attack res -5 on your opponent, as well as speed. Attack res speed. So that creates a pretty big gap in the penalty magnification on top of that.
Yeah, 14 ultimate, 19 ultimately. Yeah.
But he doesn't. The new one doesn't care about speed because of the all double from attack res menace, and from the respect of he inflicts attack res -6 during combat as well as attack res -6 as the debuffs itself. So it doesn't go quite as high in terms of debuffs, but I think in practice it's gonna be pretty similar outside the speed aspect. But instead you basically like trade that speed aspect for all of those effects, impact, auto double, and guard.
Yep. I still think he can't really, like, the two are very different from each other, ironically, but
Really? It's the same kind of playstyle.
the same kind of playstyle in that they're both exploiting penalties, maybe, but that's about it.
They gotta get somebody within 4 spaces, and then they get powered up essentially.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that's just gonna be Menace. Menace is just making anybody into Morgan now.
It feels like but that's the reason why I said that, because it feels like the same concept. Like both Morgan can't just run in, right, with no debuffs. He's just gonna get slaughtered. Well, he might be okay, but he's not gonna be like at his potential. But in other words, he's just baiting. Like the entire playstyle is like bait within 4 spaces, and then you can start your chain of attacks.
I feel like this one's actually a little more prone in respect. If you have nothing, you are just have 19 might tome, 17 might tome. Good luck with that.
Wait,
well,
but he
attack
also
res -6.
he at least gets attack res -6 regardless.
Yeah, though he won't be getting doubled constantly, no guard. He's even more prone, whereas Morgan might be able to carry himself on speed.
Huh.
I
But that's
guess
also why I mentioned if you ran Morgan with Morgan, it's actually kind of funny because you just get guaranteed debuffs. And because they both cover 4 spaces, you'll just catch everything.
Oh yeah, running these two together is going to be fantastic. It's just that they play slightly different enough where I see him more so competing with Julia as the super tanky auto follow-up mage that's going to cause a lot of problems for anybody trying to one-shot him.
But
Especially in that area
you
aspect.
know Julia is way easier to use.
Oh, easily. But the thing with Morgan is, especially if you have a good, like, say you're in Ether Raid's defense and you have like a super penalty comp with things like Shrines, Gunthra, Morgan himself
Oh my
going around
god.
sabotages.
/Reese -6. Follow-up prevention and follow-up granting. Guard. Vector. Slap in a few and has essentially a vector that Liv can't break through unless he has like 20 or less speed.
You could.
Liv. Cool Liv. Huh. But
He's gonna compete with Leaf in some ways, but Leaf is probably still gonna be better.
it's, by the way, I already thought that is not an error, is it? Sabotage defense is in fact his beast line.
Yep. He wants to basically make sure that he gets the full condition of his weapon on his own. Yep.
Though I would argue guard being the last condition is a nice bonus, but not necessary.
Oh,
Not absolutely not.
Not at all. That's why it's such a steep requirement. Like, for reference, he has the same kind of activation requirements as Claude. Base Claude, where he would get attack speed def res -5 on the foe with 10 between unit and foes penalty buffs. But that would be it. Whereas if you go the extra mile at 15, you'll get something even better. But considering that a penalty like Dagger 7's only -14, you're gonna need to really put in some work to be able to maintain that.
Mm-hmm.
For the guard condition, that is.
Guess Gunther found a perfect husband.
That's right. Because look, at the end of the day, Morgan works perfectly on the debuff teams. Gunthra with Morgan, Gunthra with Morgan, and Morgan.
Oh yeah, Morgan and Morgan.
The only crappy thing is because actually that's not completely crappy. Because Silas is still an option. I was gonna be like, you could put Arvis in, but then Arvis is red, and then you would have too many red heroes. Sorry,
Yeah.
not Silas.
Sias.
Sias. God damn it.
Yeah, if you put in Sias with War God's Tome as a cheaper option, then you'd be able to inflict -10 between attack and res, which would already get enough for Tome of Despair, which is good. And Tome of Despair's wary effect, which is
Yeah,
really good.
it's just a giant block of debuff, so it's not even hard to use either.
Yeah, extremely easy to use. Unless you have like
Yeah.
penalty negation, you're not likely to get through this. And the big thing is, it's in both phases. So, whereas most mages tend to be prone to poke strategies, Morgan might actually have a pretty decent chance of making a frontliner, as long as you have good penalties.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
right.
main issue with the Morgans is that in these new turn 1 teams not only have walls but also odd recovery,
Yeah, I know.
which both hard
Oh,
carry
yeah.
both
You
Morgans
can't
to the
use them.
moon
I
and
mean-
are very common on them.
Lulls aren't as common in defense as odd recovery right now and restore traps.
Both
So,
the
I
fallen
mean,
male and female
it's like-
Morgan all scream it's not a phase, mom and dad, after they rated their local hot topic. Also, do you guys remember when unique skills were reserved for legendary, mythic, or brave units? I don't.
Warp Powder came out on Zelgius about 2 months after... no, the same month Gunther came out, I believe. So...
Either way, it was never
Yeah.
gonna last. It was never gonna last.
Warp Powder was on the same banner as base Micaiah.
Yeah. No, it's always been like this, but they're just getting better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, what was I will just say one thing with, one last thing about Gunthra. Gunthra targets the lowest defense. I know this is more so about her remix coming up, but she targets the lowest defense, so that might target dual Lin potentially a lot. Unless they have like Peony or Plumeria and they're bad. But it could target dual Lin potentially, and that would make it a lot easier for Morgan to counter her. Just a
Yeah.
thought.
I'm also not completely sure how viable penalty heroes are in like Ether 8's defense or in the hands of AI in general, just because I don't know if they figure like the execution depends so much on your opponent's team and which heroes they run, and you have no control over any of that.
Yeah, but the thing is, the meta has such a heavy influence with penalties right now that people are trying to counter it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I guess if you rely too much on penalties, the meta is going to start to come back to you, but realistically, the penalty meta will love Morgan. That's
Right.
all.
Fair enough. Okay, the only other thing is like, what do you think the B slot skill is? Because Southpaw defense makes sense, all things considered for himself, but I don't know. You could just replace it and just run it with another penalty hero, and you don't need that much.
Lull attack res.
Yeah.
That's right. You
Lol
could
attack
just for
res.
lol. Yeah,
I mean,
considering he
that's
doesn't
what
need the
it's
speed.
for.
Yeah.
Make him even more of a tank.
Yep. Definitely want to make him as much of a tank as possible. I think that's going to be Morgan's big thing. Specifically for male is to try not to die.
Yeah.
Which,
I already have Fallen Julia though, so
yeah.
I'm not
Which-
that interested in male Morgan on this banner.
By the way, from one year to another year, you would think if they're both red mages, they would be very different from each other. But yet, I can still see people preferring Julia over male Morgan, considering a +10 Julia of close foil is like such a stupendously good unit.
Terrifying, right? Fallen Julia is going to take a long time to be bad. The one thing about Morgan is that he's arguably easier to use to get all the conditions that her tome has.
With
Plus
this
there's
penalty
more.
meta, wouldn't be
Because
surprised
if he
if
has
the
plus
DZ
5,
refines
minus
gave
5
unity
between
effects to
himself and
counter these
he already gets
guys.
his Julia effects.
Also, really quickly on that, when we finally see the DC weapons, with considering like how crazy the skills have become, like attack resonance just being introduced, these new tomes and new weapons, and what IS is like trying new things. Yeah, we have a lot to look forward to when DC refines come out in just like a couple days.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
We'll get to see all the unit stats, which I think is going to matter a lot. And then
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
get to see refines.
Yeah.
And then we'll have maintenance.
I
One
think
of
the only one on this banner that's going to be fast is Dimitri.
Yep, I
Oh,
agree.
yeah. This banner is extremely slow. Even slower than the last one. Which, for reference, the last banner had Ashnard as our free unit.
Yep.
So we'll see if Orson has anything to keep up with him. But yeah, we had we had 3 slow units between Leon, Julia, and Ashnard.
I highly doubt it.
Fast.
I'm sorry. Like, Ashnard was way too good. Still one of the most recommended heroes to +10.
Yeah.
Thing is,
He's
Orson-
also really good on bonus right now, but don't park him in front of Legendary Sigurd.
Okay.
But
Well, I'm using Ashnard as my bonus unit. I have Legendary Eliwood, full buffs, on a defense tile. He still gets taken out in 1 round.
oh, I love the meta.
Well-
That's how stupidly broken Legendary Sigurd is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. But yeah, that's how it goes.
Edelgard dares you to call her short again.
Okay. We'll talk about that. She is
Not
small.
smart.
She's it's
She's
so cute.
5'2".
Like, it's so cute, like how how fire she is, how determined she is, and she becomes this like the smallest character in the entire class.
It's so.
The only one shorter than her after the time skip, if I'm remembering right, is Annette.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah. That's actually such an interesting. All right. More importantly, which by the way, it's crazy because Hubert's one of the tallest guys, so putting them next to each other.
It's funny.
Oh yeah.
All right, finally, Theo Morgan. Now, this is the hero that I find really, really interesting because she came with Dive Bomb, which means Dive Bomb is now in the normal pool,
Finally.
which is funny because Tiburon was just here and people might be like kind of upset now because they could have just sparked for Dive Bomb, you know?
I mean, Heavy Blade 4 Dive Bomb versus Tac Def Solo 4 or Tac Def Menace Dive Bomb is different.
No,
But
I get that. I get that, but this is guaranteed, and I've heard of some horror stories of like just keep pulling Lins. Not that you should be that upset to pull Lins, but we've gotten, more than a couple Lins.
Yeah, we already
Yeah.
have one free of that Lin in particular, so yeah.
Yeah.
Dive Bomb finally making it to the free to play to main pool.
Main
So,
pool.
Permanent pool. Yep.
really, really good. The pathing is also not bad. Assuming Attack Def Menace is out of Attack Def Threaten, that would be Trine, I believe, would have Threatened Attack Def 2, and then Attack Def Solo 3 you can get out of Spring Minerva at 4-star. So
No.
pathing isn't even that bad.
Which is crazy too, considering if you ran a hero, say like one of the most common heroes would be like, say, Cordy. First playing Cordy, you can just get Dive Bomb, Attack Defense Menace. So you have like a perfect soaring kit if you have Blue Dual Flying.
Yep. There's definitely a lot of potential. I mean, the only thing is, Menaces on flyers.
It'd be kind of weird, to be honest.
Considering they have reigns, a little weird.
Yeah. But still, like, if you like, it just makes more sense to take in that situation. I guess you can still take Attack Defense Level 4, but it makes more sense to take. Doesn't
For
in terms
arena
of
unit.
scoring, but
For an arena unit, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't necessarily. You don't need Menace.
yeah,
for
you definitely
scoring,
don't need it.
but you can. You would be allowed to run 200 SP on B, I guess. I mean, on Seal, rather.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right. But anyways, let's get over it. Axe of Despair, special trigger cooldown count -1. I actually really like that because that means Glimmer's 1 cooldown. With Dive Bomb, that's a lot of damage.
Or you could run Heavy Blade and get Gale Force going pretty easy.
That's what I thought. But then I thought about it again. It's just like, how do you get the attack defense menace to keep triggering? Because without the debuffs. But then again, that's why I said if you run her on Light Season with Milla helping you out with Sabotage Attack, it might actually still work.
What? It's not even just that, because the only thing that's missing if you run out of opponents that have been hit by Attack Defense Menace, she still has her own buffs that are pushing her over 10.
Yeah. You only with Menace, you only realistically need one of the two to work and to get to the +10.
Yep.
So maybe just having Milla by herself is enough then. Because
Oh,
if
easily.
they're all bundled up together.
Well, the -7 from sabotage attack alone will only get you the wary effect. You'll need something on top, which PNE, by the way.
Assuming you got your attack defense menace working, so your attack defense is +6, right? So 6/6, and you -6 on them. So that's 18, isn't it? So you get the follow up.
Oh yeah, you'll get the guard too if you have full menace on somebody. But if you have sabotage, then you'll be able to get it on basically everybody. The big thing is that with PNE, you don't care.
Right, if you buff a peony, you get the defense and res as well.
Yeah, so you'll already be up to +12, which is enough to get the guaranteed follow-up, even if it's not enough for the guard.
Okay, so Dive Bomb Morgan's definitely a thing on light season anyways.
Acts of Despair
Oh,
is
yeah.
a
Yep.
Yu-Gi-Oh
It's gonna
card
be a
that makes
Gale
it
Force
good
for sure.
kappa.
It is literally a Yu-Gi-Oh card. How many effects is that? Special trigger cooldown count my sword.
No. He's
No.
saying that Acts of Despair is an actual card.
Oh.
Wait, it is?
I really wish
Yes,
they
Acts
didn't.
of
Just do a
Despair
direct
is an
copy
equip
paste of
card in
Morgan
Yu-Gi-Oh!
aside from slaying
that
effects and
boosts a
defense.
monster's attack
She
by
seems a lot
1,000
more enemy
points.
phase would worked perfectly
How
with
the fuck
DC
do you
and
know
guard
this?
bearing if she had Iode's shield
I-
and that tax.
Admitted
I
that.
used to be into Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was like in junior high.
What the
I
shit?
never got into it.
I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Oh my god.
It's also a really
Oh
old
my
card.
god.
Yeah, it's also a very old card.
Oh yeah.
I
can
remember
argue
this.
oldness.
Copyright 1996, Kazuki Takahashi. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's old.
No, I remember this because, like
Well, you can tell it's old because it says a magic card instead of spell card.
No, it's not just that. It's also from the respect of holy crap, chat. Like once upon a time, if you guys were like played Yu-Gi-Oh in like the early 2000s, we didn't have all that ridiculous shit they play with nowadays. But like there are like rush decks where you just get a bunch of 4-star monsters and you just equip like magical spells, like magic cards like this to increase their attack. So instead of sacrificing and like for like a higher for hired summons, like higher star summons, you just bum rush them with a bunch of equips and low star with high attacks. Jeez. Wow, it's been forever since I've seen Acts of Despair.
Wow. I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That seems pretty accurate for this then.
You can tell Acts of
Alistair's an
Despair
old
is
man.
old card
We know
because
that
it
too.
doesn't look like a robot.
This is true.
All right. But yeah, in terms of actual effects though, that's a lot. That's special trigger cooldown count -1, attack defense -6, economic fall attack, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, special cooldown, charge -1. That's 5 effects.
Yeah, you're literally
Well,
getting...
five potential effects, but 3 of them are conditional.
3 of them are
And-
conditional, yeah.
Realistically, you'll get to the 10 if you're trying at all.
Frequently, yeah.
Stretch. But still, that is a lot of effects for an axe. Yeesh.
Yeah.
In player hands, this is going to be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Morgan is arguably better Cherche now.
Interesting.
I mean,
Interesting that you would compare it to Shershi of all
Imagine a team
characters.
of Morgan with Gale
Well,
Force
mostly
Pride,
because
Makai,
Chershi is,
and Lumeria and
well,
legendary
Brave
Seaward, you are guaranteed
flyer.
to kill at least 3 units.
Okay.
still going to be years.
I was thinking of Young Minerva because I'm just like, well, who's another green axe hero who would love dive bomb past slaying would be great in Gale Force.
Well, another thing is that Cherche is also from Awakening.
Oh, yeah. I guess that. What I was actually thinking was Jill, because she has dive bomb in her axe, basically. So basically, we're looking at the auto follow-up equivalent of Jill, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
More about tanking and less about speed control, which is interesting.
Yep. By the
Two are
way,
gonna be
she has a better kit than Mil Morgan.
Jill?
No, Morgan. This female Morgan.
Oh, well, die.
I find it so funny because she got dive bomb and he got sabotage defense.
Yeah,
That's not
Yeah, I'm
that's not really
surprised
comparison.
he didn't come with a lull.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. That's kind of felt weird. It felt like one of those it felt like the male Chris situation, you know? Except Milkers at least had joint drive attack, but yeah.
Oh, there's an idea that somebody just highlighted in chat. Give female Morgan catch.
Ah,
Good.
yeah.
Nothing saying you can't. Absolutely. Attack defense catch from legendary Sigurd, and you're ready to go. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are no criteria to being alone, so that solo is actually just like, I get Fallen Heroes want to be solo, like it's in from the idea of being a Fallen Hero, but like this outside of attack defense solo, she could be next to anybody, just like how Light could be next to anybody. It's kind of funny.
Prefers it.
Yeah, he has Oath, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and prefers Unity. Hollow Knight is the
Unity is one of his best skills.
What a weird take on Fallen Hero, but
Yep.
Right?
yeah, no. Whereas with this one, and with Male Morgan even, you don't need to be solo. That's just
Right.
Yeah. So with female Morgan, just as an idea, using catch, not that I'm saying I'm wholly recommending it, but attack defense catch, and then give her attack smoke as her seal.
I think attack smoke just works on both of these characters, but I also recommended that on
it does.
Morgan. Male
Well,
Morgan.
it does, but with catch specifically, because catch
Yeah,
cannot be used by infantry, if I'm remembering right. So that just means that,
for infantry, yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
So yeah.
I think that female Morgan is potentially easier to set up to be even better.
She has a role. I mean, the only problem is, especially with Gale Forcing right now, Gale Force in offense is very difficult to execute. But
It is.
for those who can do it, she might be one of the best at it.
Yep.
And at the very least on defense, if you feel like it, as long as she has even like 23 speed, she'll be able to double Hector, Brave Hector, semi-reliably. So there's
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting if she is a Brave Hector counter.
that we'll have to see, of course. Otherwise, she has a
They
lot
can
of
just
res.
run Oath instead of Menace ironically and pretty much have a guaranteed breaker.
But that's only 10 buffs. So
All of you for the breaker effect, specifically. But Menace is even easier to proc than Oath. You literally are almost guaranteed to proc Menace.
yeah, if they're within
Yeah.
4 spaces, that's a lot of.
That's a lot of room.
Honestly, Menace is just straight up better than Oath and Rouse in like 90% of cases. If you want a buff, you use Menace and you go with it.
All right, but enough about her, because the reality is you should just keep the base kit. I really don't even know why you would change much of anything.
Forcing aside.
Aside from Gale Force, right? With Heavy Blade, Gale Force. But anyways,